Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Clutch here, and today guys, we're back in the NBA 2K20. I hope you guys are all having a great day and everything's going well for you guys. I'm going to be showing you guys how to create Nikola Jokic here in NBA 2K20. So guys, we're going to make this build a center. You could possibly make it a power forward, but I'm going to make it a center just so we can get like his actual height and everything, and it's closer to what he actually plays in real life. So I'm going to pick a center. We're going to make him right-handed, jersey number 15 again. That's small stuff. That's more preference. If you'd rather have a player left-handed, go ahead. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to show you guys now the skill breakdown. I feel like there's really two options. You can either pick playmaking in the shooting pie chart or the pure playmaking pie chart. I feel like this one is good. You know, your shooting stats really don't take too much of a dip going from the pure playmaking to the playmaking in the shooting. Your mid-range goes down by 3, but this post moves are a lot higher. Now when I think of Jokic, I think of somebody that is more a post player than when it comes to a shooter. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the pure playmaking pie chart. But again, if you'd like it and if you really want the Hall of Fame shooting badges, you can go ahead and go with this one. I would say that'd be another thing if you're like very hard set on getting Hall of Fame shooting badges. I would just go ahead and go with that one. But if you don't have much of a preference, you could just go ahead and go pure playmaking. That's what I'm going to go with because then we can get better post moves going that way. Now, when it comes to my center builds, typically I always like picking the balanced pie chart. That's just that's kind of how I like to do it. Whenever I build centers in general, I always pick the balanced pie chart over, primarily strength or anything, just because I feel like overall it's the best pie chart for centers. You're really not prioritizing speed. You don't want to be like incredibly slow, and you still want to have your strength and your vertical. So I'm going to go with this one here, which is the balanced pie chart. The attributes, guys, obviously all of our shooting stats, I'm going to go ahead and max these out. That's a no-brainer. I'm also going to max out this interior D and this defensive rebound. Now with the rest of these stats, this is a little bit tricky when you want to get his legitimate build. We're going to take this close shot here up to a 70, guys. And when I think with Jokic too, I don't really feel like he isn't much of a finisher at the rim. Like he can finish at the rim, but he's not like dunking over people consistently. So this driving layup, I'm going to take up to a 67. Now I'm going to go ahead and max out this driving dunk. I feel like, most builds in general, you're going to want that. I'm going to take this standing dunk up to a 68 here. This post hook, I'm going to bring up to a 66, so that'll give us 3 finishing badges. And again, some of these you can lower. That's what I'm going to do for those. Now when it comes to these post moves, we're maxing those out all the way. Ball handle up to a 46, and my pass accuracy up to a 70 to give us that 21st playmaking badge. You could leave it at a 69 if you wanted, but I'm going to leave it there. Now these last 33 points I'm going to spend on offensive rebound. We're going to bring that up to a 63. I know we only have 1 defensive badge. That's the drawback with this build, and I guess if you wanted, you could take some of your finishing stats down and get more defensive badges. But with this build, I'm really not trying to prioritize defense. I really don't feel like he plays very much. He does play defense, but that's not his primary thing. Your primary thing is to pass the ball, be able to shoot, and be able to score at the rim every once in a while. So this is going to give us 3 finishing badges, 15 shooting badges, 21 playmaking badges, and 1 defensive badge. And again, you could maybe tweak that a little bit if you wanted more defensive badges, but that's just what I'm going to do. For his body shape, I'm going to go with burly. I feel like that is what defines him. You could possibly go built too, but I feel like overall it's closer to burly. But again, this doesn't matter really. Obviously for a center, you're not going to pick any of the other ones most likely. It's either you're going to be burly or built most of the time. So we're going to go with that. Now he is 7 foot, so I'm going to go with the 7 foot height. You could possibly go 6'11" if you'd like, but I'm just going to go 7 foot because that is his legitimate height. Now for his weight, he's listed as 250 pounds. I'm just going to leave it there, and if you wanted, you could almost bump this weight up to 254 if you want to get that boost in your strength, and you could go 255 to get the interior D and the strength. I feel like that's a really good weight to go, or you could even go higher to it because until it hits the vertical, so you could go 258 to get that +2 to your strength, +1 to your interior D. Don't lose anything. I'm going to go 250 though because that is his legitimate weight, but I would say 258 is also a good weight. Now his wingspan is listed as 87 inches, so I'm going to actually go with this 87.1, but realistically you can leave it at 89.1 if you don't want to lose a wingspan on your center, which is completely understandable. Either way, it's fine. I'm going to leave it here at this 87.1, but otherwise you can just leave it at the 89.1. This one, it helps because it boosts your strength, boosts your shooting and your ball handle, which is nice. So we're going to go with that. But realistically, if you want to keep it more towards like a defensive, well-rounded build, just go ahead and leave it at 89.1. But I'm going to go 87.1. Takeover options, we're either getting glass cleaner or post-scoring takeover. I'm going to go post-scoring take. I feel like that is what finds him more than glass cleaner. I feel like, he's mainly a post player, posting people up, doing moves in the post, passing out of the post. So we're going to go the post-scoring takeover for this Jokic build, guys. So for this build, we are going to get a Mid-Range Maestro, which is similar to Nikola Jokic, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, you can make this build depending on if you add more finishing stats, you're going to get an interior force or an interior finisher. But if you want the actual Mid-Range Maestro, I would build it how I did, because this one's very, very specific. Like when you tweak the finishing stats, or even the ball handle, it changes the build name. So you got to be very, very specific on what you do with this. Maxing the shooting stats are fine, but I'm going to go and show you guys the badges I would throw on this Mid-Range Maestro build. And this especially is one build like I have never really, I don't think I've ever seen this build on the park. So for this one defensive badge, I'm going to put it on Intimidator. You can put it wherever you'd like. I feel like either maybe Intimidator or Rim Protector for a center is good for your defensive badge. Now, when it comes to these finishing badges, there's a few things you could do. I'm going to put Contact Finisher on Silver and Back Down Punisher on Bronze. I feel like for this build, especially wanting to do things in the post, having Back Down Punisher is probably a good thing. You could easily put Contact Finisher on Gold. You're not going to be needing Contact Dunks with this build. So you could do that, but I feel like this, by having Back Down Punisher, you'll be able at least to do things on the post, and realistically, you could take Contact Finisher off if you feel like you don't want it. I feel like it's kind of necessary, though, to finish at the rim consistently, but Back Down Punisher is something for this build, especially you would want it just to have, be able to back people down. These shooting badges, guys, I'm going to put Quick Draw on Silver. That's just kind of where I like it, but you could put it on wherever you'd like. That's more personal preference. I know a lot of people are, some people like it on Gold. It really depends on your jump shot, what jump shot you're used to, etc. But I'm going to leave it there on Silver. Now, I'm also going to put Catch and Shoot on Bronze. Jokic should have Catch and Shoot. Like, I feel like that's something especially he should have. He can definitely shoot out of the Catch and Shoot in this way. Some people feel Catch and Shoot doesn't work. I'm going to put it on there either way. When it comes to these other ones, I'm going to put Range Extender on Gold. I feel like that is something for sure you're going to want. It is a good badge to have with this build because, especially being 7 foot, you can space the floor extremely well. Like, being able to contest a shot on a 7 foot player is going to be extremely hard for anybody. Now, I'm going to put Deep Fades on Gold. I feel like for this build, you're going to be shooting a lot of fades, so that's a necessity. You're going to want it. And I'm also going to put Deadeye here on Gold. I feel like both of these with this build, you necessarily, especially Deep Fades to help. Deadeye will help with any shot from anywhere. And Deep Fades because you are going to be shooting fades with this build. Like, that is one of the main things you're going to want to do. Now, I'm also going to put Corner on Bronze. I feel like if with this build, you could leak out to the corner and, you'll hit your threes. And I feel like having Bronze Corner Specialist does help. I feel like you're better off putting it there than not having it when you have a center that doesn't have as high, or any build in general that doesn't have as high of shooting stats. You're better off putting it there than not. I feel like with these last 2 points, what I would do is either put these on Hot Zone Hunter or Green Machine. If you don't have any Hot Zones, I wouldn't use Hot Zone Hunter. If you do, go ahead and use it. I'm going to put these on Green Machine, though. Either way, you could put them on, make an argument for either of them. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Now, with these playmaking badges, we don't have as many to choose from. Obviously, we have a guard. But what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to put Bailout on Bronze. I feel like being able to pass out of any layup attempts is good, especially with this. I feel like Nikola does this a lot. He passes out of his layups a lot and his dunks and does things like that. So I'm going to throw that on there. Now, again, what you could do with this build, you could maybe put Floor General, but I'm going to assume your guard has Floor General, so you wouldn't use this. So I'm just going to bypass that, but if you would like, you could probably throw it on here. Now, I'm going to put Quick First Step on Hall of Fame. I feel like for this build, you want to be able to dribble. That is a big thing. So we're going to put that on there. Now, I'm also going to put Tight Handles here on Gold. I'm going to put Unfuckable on Bronze and Space Creator on Bronze. Again, those I feel like are good to have overall. You should at least have them. Especially Space Creator. I really don't know how much you're going to actually use Space Creator, to be honest. You probably won't be shooting off the dribble a lot with this build. You could, but most likely you're probably not going to be doing that. And I'm also going to put Handles for Days on Hall of Fame there. So then we got 7 spots left. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put Post Spin Technician on Gold. I'm going to put Dream Shake on Gold. And then with this last one, I feel like with this, what you could do, you could put it on Dimer. I feel like Dimer would be a good choice. You could almost put it on Needle Threader as well, or even Flashy Passer. He does throw quite a bit of flashy passes, so that is another option. But what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and put Post Spin Technician on Hall of Fame. And again, if you feel like Dream Shake doesn't work, don't put it on there. You could go ahead and, throw this on Dimer is what I would most likely do. If you feel like Dream Shake doesn't work, I would put these on Dimer. In general, I feel like he should have Dimer at least on here somewhat. So I'm going to leave it on Bronze. By having him have Dimer, you can pass it to a guard and they have a better chance of making a shot. And again, Space Creator would be the one badge on here I feel like you might not necessarily need. This is what I would do to create this Nikola Jokic build. Guys, if you have any other players you want me to create, please put it down in the comments below. And also, if you want to see more NBA 2K20 player builds or YouTuber builds or anything like that, please subscribe to the channel, guys. But anyways, it's been King Clutch here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, have a great rest of your day and peace out, guys. Thanks.